Good afternoon. Uh, I'm back. This is It's About Time podcast, and I hope the viewers and the listeners that on the last one I did, I hope y'all it was very exciting. I hope it was very informative, and I hope I said something that would open the eyes of somebody. As y'all can see, I'm dressed in my Bucks gear this afternoon. It's Buck ball. I got my hat, my shirt, my cup. Bucks kick off at 4:30. Uh, some say I have a mental illness because of the Bucks, but you know what? They hating on me. Let them hate. It's Bucks ball all the way. Uh, like I said last time. I'm gonna start off with. I'm always start off a podcast with a Bible verse and a quote. I'm starting to quote off. The struggle you are in today is developing the strength you need for tomorrow. And that is true, you know. The Bible verse, even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid. You are with me, your shepherd's rod and staff comfort me. Psalms 23:4. The reason I start podcast off with Bible verse is we need more spirituality in our lives. We need to trust in the good Lord a little bit more. We need peace, understanding of what's going on in this world. And me personally think the good Lord is the one that that could give us that. And so, say your prayers every once in a while, read your Bible, do whatever you need to do to get in touch with the good Lord. This podcast, I think I told y'all before, is I'm gonna talk to y'all about my struggles from 12 years ago, that when I was diagnosed with depression, and and uh, and it was rough because as a black man, as a black man, you know something wrong mentally, but you don't want to accept that because you are we are very strong. We're supposed to be this alpha male, you're this rock of Gibraltar. And when I was diagnosed with it, it it hit hard. I think the third session, she told me, Mr. Greer, you are suffering with severe depression. And I didn't know how to take it. So she asked me right off the bat, said, you want to try to deal with it with talk therapy, or you want to go straight to medicine? No medicine. I said, no, I can't do medicine. Uh, 2, 3 more sessions after that, I wasn't getting no better, so I went to medicine. And I got better. Um, what happened when I found out that something was wrong, uh, I was angry all the time. I was moody all the time. Um, I walked in the house from work. My wife would get up and go. My 2 daughters would get up and go to the room. They didn't want to be around me. And that went on for a while, you know. I didn't want to do anything. The stuff that I loved to do, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to be around nobody. All I did was work and home. And it was, it wasn't good. It wasn't the life that I thought I would have been living. So I finally decided to man up and go find out what was wrong. And and I'm glad I did. You know, but, you know, maybe 2.5 years I was in therapy on medication, felt good, lived my life, happy, and I felt better. So I thought I was healed. I thought it was like a flu or something like that. You know, you feel better, you heal. Uh, I want to say that was around 2013 when I got off, 14, something like that, and I started feeling a little funky again around 2017, and I didn't pay no attention to it, but after a while I did, and I went back to therapy, and it worked. I didn't want to get back on meds at the time, but I got back on. I went to therapy and it worked. But it was such a struggle to maintain where I was before after I got off medication because I felt myself going back into this hole, but I didn't want to get on medication. For some reason, medication to me is make me feel like back then, medication to me make me feel like I was crazy. And that's one stigma that I got off because it don't make you feel like you're crazy. It's just like anything else. You take high blood pressure pills, you take pills for high cholesterol, whatever you do, you know. But back then, that's how it made me feel. It made me feel like I was inadequate of being a man, you know, and it was hard for me to accept. And and if I remember correctly, I went back to therapy, and I therapy, and she told me, said, therapy told me, Mr. Greer, you're not getting no better. You might have to look at going back on medication. And I said, all right, give me a couple of more sessions, and a couple of more sessions. I said, I went back on meds, and did pretty good. I felt a little bit, but it was, I always took the lowest dosage because I feel like self-medication helps me to be more in control. Um, and I started doing things to help me self medicate myself. You know, like reading, exercise, and you know, walking, listening to R&B. That's one of the things that helps me a lot. Listen to old school R&B, old school hip hop. You know, that calms me. Listening to music back in the 80s, I'm guessing that put me back in the time of my life that I didn't have no worries. I didn't have nothing to worry about. You know, I was there. I was, what you say, freestyling. You know, I had a lot of, a lot of freedom, a lot of, didn't have no bills, didn't have, you know, just didn't have anything. So it put me back in that time where I felt good about myself, and I think that's what me listening to old school school music, the R&B, hip hop, it makes me feel good because of that reason, you know. And I was, you know, people say, you know, you go to the gym a lot, but you don't seem to be losing no weight. I tell them quick, hey, I'm not going to the gym to lose weight. I'm going to the gym to exercise my mental health. I don't care about losing weight. I'm I'm what I am. You know, I have to exercise my mind. You know, I'm healthy. You know, so I just feel like people really don't understand what's going on in your mind. You know, if you know, I could sit down and talk to somebody about what I'm going through, and then you know, they sit down, they mouth wide open, their eyes ain't blinking, they looking back and say, wow. But they don't understand. Unless you live it, you know somebody that live with a mental illness, and I'm speaking on depression and anxiety. That's the only thing I could speak on because I don't know anything else. And and you feel like people look at you a different way sometimes because you just it makes you feel you walking by somebody you could it it makes you feel like they looking at you at the corner of their eyes, but they probably not. But that's how you feel. That's how you feel because anxiety. I got the symptoms of depression. I'm gonna give y'all. I copied this the day before I came over here. Your mood is anxiety, apathy, general discontent, guilt, hopelessness, loss of interest or pleasure, uh, loss of interest or loss of pleasure in activities, mood swings, sadness. All that's me. Behavioral, agitation, excessive crying, irritability, restlessness, social isolation. All that's me. Sleep, early awakening, excessive sleepiness, insomnia, restless sleep. The restless sleep is me. I don't have any early awakening. I get up early to go to work anyway, but lack of concentration, s- slowness in activity or thoughts of suicide. All that's me. Weight gain, weight loss. That's not me. Poor appetite or repeatedly going over thoughts. I don't have a poor appetite, but I do repeatedly go over my thoughts because of I go over a lot of stuff. I worry a lot of stuff because my self confidence, my self esteem is gone. That anxiety took it away. Um, Symptoms of anxiety: irritability, restlessness, lack of concentration, racing thoughts, unwanted thoughts. That's me. I have, on an average person, you have 70 thoughts that run through your mind a minute. Uh, with me, I have them unwanted thoughts that stays in my mind that brings on anxiety. You know, excessive worry, fear, feeling of independent doom, insomnia, nausea, palpitations, or trembling. I would say 80% of that is me. You know, it's it's a rough life. Let me tell you a little story. I My next door neighbor, she used to go out of town a lot, and she used to feed. She had outside cats, and she used to ask me to feed the cats. And yeah, I feed the cat. I take care of the cats for you. So I feed them before I go to work, and I feed them when I come home from work. And that was during the time. That was the second time that I was diagnosed with depression. Um, and I felt like I was in a time in my life at that time that I felt like nobody loved me. That I was in this alone. I was out here on the island by myself. And those who know me and my family, that's the furthest from the truth. My family is my heart, and I'm quite sure I'm their heart. We love each other. We close. We do everything together back then. But we thrive on loving each other. That's what my family does. But at that time, I felt like nobody loved me. I was doing this thing by myself. So yeah, I used to come home and feed the cats. I'd pull my truck up in the yard, feed the cats, and after a while, I don't think nobody else. I think I told my wife about this story. After a while, I felt like these cats is the only things in this world that love me. So that was that was my thing. I pull up in the yard and the cats are running my truck, rub their little tails on my leg. And hey, I felt like these cats was the only thing that meant to me, that loved me. So it was hard. I mean, you got you got two dogs and a wife right next looking at you, and you don't think they love you, but these animals that don't even know you, that was they that they loved me. Although they loved me because I was putting food in their bowl, but in my mind, they loved me, and they were the only one at that time that really cared for me. So, your mind do play tricks on you every once in a while. So I had to get out. I had to get out of that, and I had to work on being somebody that my two daughters could rely on, that they could look up to. You know, one Sunday, I never forget this Sunday. One Sunday, it was in November, I think it was 2018. My family was out shopping, I think it was, and I got up to wash the dishes. So I told what them things is that you talk to, Alexa, Alexa. And I said, I play the Mighty Clouds of Joy. So a song came on, and the name of the song was "I've Been in the Storm Too Long," the Mighty Clouds of Joy. And I'm listening to it, and I'm listening to it, and all of a sudden, I just burst out and started crying. And I wanted to, and I played the song over and over and over and over again. And I wanted, my mother had passed earlier that year. And y'all excuse me if I get emotional. But that Sunday, I wanted to talk to my mother. I wanted to tell her, I wanted to tell her what I was going through. I wanted to sit down and hug her, and I wanted to hear her tell me, Tommy Greer, Tommy, she called me Tommy Janelle, everything's gonna be all right. And in my mind, the only way that could happen is if I pass or if I die, and that's the way I could see her. Because in the song said, "I've been in the storm too long," but I didn't hear the other part of the song. The other part of the song is "Give me time to pray," but I didn't hear that. All I heard was, "I've been in the storm too long," and my mind telling me, "Get out the storm." You know, Muhammad, get out the storm. And my mind telling me, "Get out the storm. You got to die." So what I did, I got me a bottle of water. I got me a cigar. I smoke cigar. And I walked to Roy Haynes Park. Those in Tampa, those in Tampa know you ever heard of Roy? I walked to Roy Haynes Park, and trust me, that's a mile from my house. I walked there. There was nobody there, and I sat on the table, and I cried, and I cried, and I cried, and I cried. I cried for about 2, 3 hours. Won't My mind telling me to do this? My mind telling me to leave this, leave it all, leave it. You know, go see your mother. You know, and another part of me is telling me, you got two daughters, you got a family, you got friends that that love you. But at this time, I cried the whole time. So I walked back home. I walked back to the house went in the room that my mother lived in, stayed in when she lived with me. Got on the bed, found we got a big picture of her, and I put that picture on my chest, and I talked to her that day the best way I know how. But I'm I was ready to leave. I was that day. That's the only time I ever felt that way. Thoughts of suicide pops in my head a lot, but that was the only time that I was willing to do it. But something drove me back to the house, and I found a picture, laid it on the bed, and I talked. I put a picture on my chest, and I sat down. I laid on the bed, and I talked to her, crying until my family came home. That's how I got over that one. And it's it's rough because people look at people with mental illness and say, well, you see somebody do something on TV, somebody said that, somebody do that. You don't know what and that person is thinking. You don't know his or her background. You don't know what's they going through. Everybody gonna have a bad day. Everybody gonna have a bad couple of days. But like I said before, and I'm gonna say it again, if you feel any type of way for a long period of time, go sit down and talk to somebody. Cause what I found out, you could talk to a stranger way better than you could talk to somebody you know. Cause you think that person you talking to gonna judge you. The person, that therapist you sitting, yeah, they getting paid, but they ain't gonna judge you. They hear this stuff all the time. But you just got to find you the right therapy. You got to find somebody that you think gonna help you. You can't. My second time around, the therapist I'm talking to now, I went through four of them before I found out the one that I really could connect with. You know, and we working good together. She sent me worksheets. I complete the worksheets. Then when we meet again, I tell her what I wrote on the worksheet. I send them out and I email them back to her, and then we sit down and we'll talk about why I wrote this, why we did this, and stuff like that. So I don't. I'm not saying it's all, and I've decided to get back on medicine because this week here, this week, probably a week and a half, it's been tough on me. You know, I was diagnosed with anticipatory anxiety. That's one of the things. What it is, it happens when people experience anxiety and stress when they think about an event that will happen in the future. And I got a couple of examples. My brother, about a month ago, he turned 50 in January, and he said, "Hey, I wanna do something. I wanna go to New Orleans or whatever." As soon as I got off the phone with him, I started trying to think of excuses not to go. That's what you call anticipatory anxiety. You anticipating something that's probably not gonna happen. You anticipating. You scared to make that commitment. You scared to the hell. You just scared. That's how I look at it. I went over to a friend's house last night to watch the Miami Hurricane, and it took me literally an hour just to get ready because I didn't want to go. Not because I didn't want to go, it's because my anxiety was telling me, hey, this gonna happen, this gonna happen, that's gonna happen. So you have to be strong, overcome it, and do what you have to do. And anxiety controls you. I know the last couple of weeks it had me beat down. That's why I decided to get back on meds because I really can't. I can't. I can't. I can't live like this. I have to. whatever the therapist doing, whatever I'm doing to self-medicate is not working. So I'm gonna have to get back on meds just to help me out. But I've also come to the reality that I'm probably gonna have to stay on meds probably the rest of my life. That's one reason I don't want to get back on it because I know once I get on, I'm gonna have to stay on it. And, and I hate to say it is what it is, but it is. It is what it is. You know, it is. I have to take high blood pressure medicine the rest of my life. So what's the difference? I want to live my life. I want to be happy. I want to have a fulfillment. I want to enjoy my family. I want to enjoy my friends. I want to enjoy a lot of stuff that I really can't enjoy because this is holding me. It's holding me back. So, I turned 59 last week, and I want to start and embellishing what I want I want to do. I want to, everybody got a bucket list. With this anticipatory anxiety, I would never do my bucket list. I would never do what I wanted to do. So, you know, I had to come to reality and say, you know what? I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna get back on meds and try to live my life for the best way I can and be happy. You know, I'm gonna cut it off. I'm making it a short. Um, I want to also let everybody know, and this probably has something to do with mental illness too. Man, let's get out and vote, man. Get out. We have to get that person in the White House. He got to go. The only way we gonna get him to go is we get out there and our voice our voices by voting. People say, well, a vote don't matter. That's bull crap, man. That's bull crap. Vote. Vote in the president election. Vote in your local election. Every time there's something going on to vote, man, get out there and vote. You know, because let me tell you something. These Trump supporters, they voting. I'm riding down Dale Mabry. There's about 40 or 50 of them on the corner of Columbus Drive and Dale Mabry. We love Trump. We love Trump. Come on, come on, people. Let's do this, man. You know, let's stick together, get this man out. Not saying Biden the answer, but damn, he better than what we got now. So let's get out and vote. Black men, let's start holding each other up, man. Let's start helping each other instead of putting us down and kicking us while we're down. Come on, black men, let's help each other. You know, I want to give thanks to the Shift Vision Media. Hey, without them, I won't be able to get my point across. God bless them, love them to death, and I hope this is the beginning of something big. God bless them, man. They giving me a chance to get my point across, and it's giving me a chance to self heal. Much love, Claude, Mike, Guru. I love y'all, man. So, hey, till next time, couple of weeks. Stay strong, stay safe. Love y'all.